powers. Oh. Wow. Holy crap. Mirellis Action is a game and screen recorder that offers the lowest megabytes per frame, the lowest computer resource usage, and the highest FPS recording. Check the link in the video description to learn more. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to version 43, part 1, patch notes review. I am Sylphin. This is absolutely a breath of fresh air. That art is unfreaking believable. And you know what? Let's just get right into it. Huge patch notes. This is part 1. We're going to go kind of the overview and then into the hero balance, as it's just... oh, look at this. The art, guys, check on it yourself. Open up on your own monitor. You need to see it in all its glory on your own. The Stonewood Rampage skin. Look at this. The Amarin Forest. The Amiran Forest may appear beautiful, but it's home to the most wild and terrible creatures in all of possession. It almost looks like the Fae. Like the Fae and Rampage. I don't know. I feel like there's something there. The skin, I don't know what the if this is going to be the kind of like the script underneath the skin. I don't know, but that's a wonderful skin. And the endgame celebration's back. Yes! Finally, it feels like an actual like accomplishment. It's like, oh, it looks so damn good, and I hope my 1080 Ti can actually handle the damn thing. So hopefully there is optimizations in here, as I really hope that, yeah, people can actually run this thing. And talking about running, we have auto run. The long-awaited feature is finally here. Use auto run to get to lane as fast as you can and check your stat build and plan strategies with your team. Numlock is a terrible thing because it's nowhere near where your one hand is. I mean, because you're holding W anyways, so how do you hold W and then numlock? I mean, I guess you just quickly hit numlock. I'll probably set it to one of my keys on my mouse, to be honest with you. But one of them's already for recording. The other, anyways, you can remap that to whatever the heck you want. But we'll see. That's a good feature. I hope you can check your cards, maybe, but probably not, to be honest with you. Probably not. So here, finally, we get to the hero updates. Look at this beautiful screenshot here. Faye, Steel, Aurora charging in with that turret. Look at the turret, man. Ah! This is what caught me into Paragon. A, it was a MOBA. 3, B, it was a third person. I was like, that's new. And C, it was the breathtaking visuals, and at the time my graphics card was horrendous. Finally got a 1070. Anyways, let's get into it, guys. So what's happening? Aurora, she's just getting kind of the update everybody else got, but she didn't. So glacial charge cast speed has been increased, so there's that tiny little delay, and they've removed it. So finally you don't stop, and then there's a little bit of a lurch forward, and then she starts going through the charge. Now you can actually be running, and then it'll just instantly happen. It'll be like a finally kind of, yeah. Hoarfrost, the cast speed has been increased, so there's a moment where she kind of turns like this, and then she does it. That's been increased, and the radius has been increased from 400 to 440 units, 10%. Hopefully that is enough so that you don't literally have to be standing right beside the enemy hero or in front of them to actually catch somebody in the Hoarfrost. The actual implementation of the ability didn't seem to fit its purpose, right? So yeah. Cryoseism, the cast speed has been increased. I didn't really find an issue with the cast speed there, but maybe just a little tweak does help. And the radius increased from 700 to 750 units. Oh, that's her ultimate. Of course, that's her damn ultimate. Yes, the cast speed, yep. It was longer than a Countess ult. while being not necessarily, it can be definitely as deadly, but just brought in line, and the radius has been increased. I suppose I did notice that, to be honest with you. It was like, you know, little bit bigger, like, come on. She's supposed to be like this huge, you know, win the team fight because you picked her and people are silly and they're grouping up, right? So she's kind of supposed to be that, so there you go. Seismic Assault! I hope this changes here for Belica because, man, so the damage has been reduced. 88 in the early game, down to 82, so about 10%, just a little bit less. And 246 in the late game, down about 10%. So that's good. It's too damn powerful, but the more important part here, the power scaling down 10%. Yeah, it looks like a little bit more, 15. I like that. She's just too good. I'm sick of her. She just, yeah. So I'm glad. Hopefully that brings her back in line. Seismic Assault, kind of a silly ability too. I mean, it does, it fills its purpose. It's just, oh boy, is it punishing. And it shouldn't hurt that much as well. Just fitting in with her whole combo. Drongo, Shrapnel Cannon, fixed an issue because of knockback to launch enemies in an inaccurate direction if target was on the edge of the targeting wedge. I did notice that. Glad that is there. Old Rusty will now bounce off of Steel's shield instead of getting consumed by it. Nice. Yep. The shield is supposed to be an object, like a geometry, and it says it's bounced off of, so that should work. Speed Gate by Gadget. Move speed from 200 at all levels to 175 to 250 at the late. She's already pretty darn good, but maybe that survivability in the early game when you get it, like when you preferably, hopefully you get it first, so that, you know, you can actually escape early ganks and stuff. I mean, it doesn't really matter all that much, but kind of tone that down a bit. And then way at the top end, 250, maybe, yeah, maybe she did need that. Not sure. She really is quite strong. Like Gadget, Sticky Mine, I don't know. So we'll see there. Now, Gideon. His Q already hurt before his nerf, or before his buff. And now it's kind of just dumb. But, Burden, slow magnitude from 100 to 150. 100 didn't really feel like it did very much. A few times I did play Gideon since his buff. It didn't really do much. So maybe that is a good thing there. But the general balance, movement speed from 680 to 690. I don't know why they tweak movement speed. I feel like it should be the same for everybody. Melee maybe a bit more. I don't understand why movement speed has to be something that you use to balance, because it's... when you tweak movement speed, you're almost going into the same problem as travel mode. That was the whole issue behind travel mode. And if you change people's base movement speed, well, you're giving them pseudo travel mode. Like, not really, right? But you start encroaching on the same principle behind the problem of travel mode. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Because somebody like Decker, she moves as slow as molasses. And it's just, yeah, anyways. Movement speed, okay. Base health from 554 to 566. He is probably one of the casters that maybe needs a little bit more than others, but he definitely shouldn't be the most healthy. Health per level increased from 57.4 to 61. Okay. And a base health regen from 0.92 to 0.94. Basic defense per level from 1.9 to 2.3. So that's really going to help him. All of that combined is really going to help him survive in his ultimate, which that basic defense, that's going to really help. He's so, like, I don't know. A good Gideon can poke people down and, you know, play his ult smartly. I don't know. I don't think it was warranted, but this is where, ladies and gentlemen, trust Epic's data. And I'm going to do so. You know, Gideon's going to be a deadly hero. He's kind of meant to be. You know, you pick Gideon because of his kit. You pick him in the draft mode, or in the draft lobby, and then he just kind of does his thing. You know, oh, the enemy team didn't pick reliable stuns. Gideon, and boom, you have that advantage. And maybe he didn't provide that advantage in game. So there you go. Grim, he needs some help. Deflect your shield, mana cost from 40 to 0. Holy crow, that is good. Okay, I like that. You know what? I agree. He's supposed to kind of be a utility-esque sort of a carry, right? Like that's kind of his, like you have a solid team, so you just pick Grim because you have a solid team and he can just compound that already solid team. Well, his deflector shield now can not only deflect things and help with that just general utility and just being a good hero in an already good team, but now it can also make him do so more by giving him mana back through the no mana cost of the ability. I kind of like that. I think that is the thinking behind it, and I like that. General balance, base health from 592 to 633. Probably what was needed. Health per level from 60.8 to 63. So 3 difference times 20 is 60 more health plus the 40. So 100 more health. Hey, that's part of a basic. That's part of an ability. That's probably going to go a long way. And base health regen increased. That's good. Fixing an issue causing Grim.exe torso to continue glowing after toggling the suppression mode ability off. Okay. And bug fix. So I like that. Grim, honestly, my favorite carry, which makes me really weird. I know that. But I just like his kit and his theme and just his design. And it makes me really sad that he hasn't really been all that meta and viable kind of at all. So I like that. I like seeing that. Really nice. Grux, minor improvements to basic attack animation. When he jumps and when he's in the air in his attack, it's really weird. A lot of them have a really weird basic attack. And oh yes, when high agility, yeah, well, a high attack speed Grux looks really funny. So maybe that's what they're talking about. And smash and grab now targets more reliably around difficult terrain, and no longer applies double damage at close range. Oh, that's probably very important to do. Yes. And there's also been a few, I think on, there's a recent Alit video that, like, the Iggy was absolutely within the smash and grab and nothing. So hopefully that is what that is about. Yeah, because that needs to be reliable. Iggy and Scorch, Burning Sensation! He's overpowered. They just need to tune him back. Burning Sensation, base damage from 35 to 105 to 28 to 84. Huge nerf there. Yes, I agree. His turrets already do good damage, but I think that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to do good damage. If you're in his turrets, well, like, that's what it's supposed to do. But the lingering damage from the Burning Sensation, I would agree. It is a little too punishing, right? He's supposed to zone you out, not deal damage from, you know, outside of, like, he's supposed to zone you out, not necessarily take 50% of your health away just because you took 4 turret shots, right? So power scaling, that has also been reduced to help with that. I like that. I honestly do like that. And general balance, health per level, he was too tanky, for sure. And the turret health, yes, it was too much. Starts off the same. Yeah, there's exactly what my gut is and my recall memory, which is fairly good. Even if I can't prompt anything. That is, I agree. Absolutely agree. Good to see that health reduced by almost 10% in the late game, but stays the same in the early game and just kind of slowly goes down from there. So good. I definitely agree with that. Now we come to Kwang. I don't know why they did this. He's already very strong. He's already Sacred Alchemy, well, unstable cyborg crap and stuff, but like just the standards. If you go Sacred Alchemy, Vampiric Blade, and then whatever the heck third card, it really honestly doesn't matter. He's just unstoppable. You just can't. So I don't know. Judgment of Heavens, radius increased, that I honestly very much dislike. Very much dislike. Fury of the Heavens, radius increased from 500 to 700. For that, I don't know. I don't play enough of him. I don't want to play more of him. So I didn't really see that, but I suppose if you look at the data, I would maybe see that his ultimate didn't really contribute too much to team fights. So maybe I agree with that. You know, his ultimate, you do his ultimate in a proper engagement with people around, Maybe it didn't do it. Maybe it didn't do enough. Maybe okay, but Judgment of the Heavens, his sword. I 100%. I don't know. I don't like that. Let me know in the comments. I don't have the experience to maybe even say that was weak. All I know is that it was already too reliable for people just to root you in place anyways. Maybe I just came up against all good Kwangs. I don't know. I don't like it. That's what my gut is telling me. My gut's been pretty good so far over the past year and a bit. Besides towers. Yeah, so there you go. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of Kwang. His ultimate I'm fine with. The Judgment of the Heavens. Oh, God. Now we go on to Narbash. He is very strong, and he got a little bit of a nerf. Sung by people healing from 24 to 60 down to 20 to 50. So it looks like a 20%, almost a 20% nerf. Yeah, his healing was really, really strong. It's kind of funny because before his buff, his healing was literally useless. Now it's just really, really strong. This, yeah, I mean, this probably is spot on. It's supposed to be impactful, but like not, like you couldn't kill people if a Narbash upgraded his Song of My People a ton and just had like built a whole bunch of mana. Like you just, if he put it on and he was committed to converting his whole mana pool into health for his teammates, like you couldn't kill anybody. It was, well, not that you couldn't kill it, but it was really good. So maybe that is there. Crash Bang Boom, his ultimate, yeah, was like a freaking caster. Like you could, you just annihilate anybody with it. And look at this, a 10% nerf in the early game, 351 damage down to 322, and in the late game, 644 down to 579. So that's basically, yeah, 10%, a little bit more than 10% in the late game, and the power scaling down quite a bit. Is that 10%? A little bit more. Yep. So, I mean, whether you want to consider Narbash support pseudo melee caster offlaner thing, which works great, by the way, I don't know. But I think this puts him more in line. His ult did a ton of damage. His Song by People was really, really strong. I don't know. All I know is that he was picked way too much, and probably for a good reason. He was powerful. And there you go, that probably brings him back in line. Sevarog, he has been changed because of the whole jungle changes here. He's been changed, and I really, really like it. He is a really good hero that I wish I was better at. I wished I played more. I don't know. So here, check it out. Base health from 647 to 671. His base health seemed a little bit low for kind of like what he seems like he's about. Even though he has his stacks, so maybe that was true. Base health regen from 1.08 to 1.12, and his soul stack milestones. Okay, they've been changed because of the lesser minions that will be in the jungle and lesser minions that'll be in the late game with the gameplay changes. His milestones where he gains bonus health and ability damage. It was been changed from 20, 50, 90, 140 to 10, 30, 60, 100. So almost cut in half. Almost well, it cut in half in the early game, but in the late game, both about a third or so. So that's going to be good. It still stacks to 200, but at least those big milestones that do quite a bit will be more achievable for sure. So that, great to see that. I really do agree with that. Shinbi, slight adjustments to weapon trail visuals, bug fixes, and Steel has received a rework. Slight rework. Check this out. Bull Rush has been removed. I'm not sure if I kind of like that. A big part of him was his Bull Rush, his escapability, his weight, you need a good skill in order to land it properly at the appropriate time to hit somebody in the right direction. And yeah, maybe sometimes it was a bit too hard. I would agree with that. But that's a big part of him. So now he's changed quite a bit. His new ability that replaces Bull Rush is Shield Bash. Steel strikes out with his shield, causing 50, 75, 100, 125, not bad, damage in a localized area in front of him. They don't say the scaling from it, but I mean, 125 base damage with any amount of power depending on the scaling. Yeah, I guess that could be quite a bit depending on the scaling. Enemies hit by the shield are stunned for 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 seconds. A micro stun, but it's basically an interrupt. It's an interrupt from an ability. You see Gideon about, like, you just know when Gideon's gonna use his teleport. Yeah, boom! You can really hit him. Just stun. Basically it's just an interrupt, but it's a stun and costs 50 mana on a 5-second cooldown. So he's a high harass, in your face, disrupt everything sort of hero, and that makes him a good tank. And that's what they talked about in the community corner. I like it. I like it. That's a really nice ability. Shield Slam, range from 900 to 850. I'm not sure why. It was already super short, but they did increase the AoE size from 500 to 550. Maybe I agree with that. Sure, I suppose it did seem I guess definitely it would definitely help him be a little bit more viable, even if the range was decreased a little bit. I think that's a good trade, though. To be honest, he's now a tank. He should be able to kind of be in there. Let's see his base mana. Oh, it has been reduced, and the base mana regen has been reduced as well. But his bulwark, his shield cooldown from 18 seconds to 14 seconds. I like that. So there you go. Maybe fits his more than a brawler, bruiser tank. Get right in there and disrupt everybody style now. So I like that. Phase. She simply not viable. So let's see what they did to her. Energy Lance, total damage from 80, 120, 160, 200 to 100, 150, 200, 250. Total power scaling from 1.43 to 1.78. Okay, so on the most supportive heroes kit in the entire game, they increased her damage. All right, Psychic Flare, cooldown to 10 seconds from 12 seconds. Oh boy, that's gonna be interesting. It's already super strong, so 2 seconds. So you can use it 2 times you can use it twice in a team fight more often now, which is okay. That also means actually in the Energy Lance, if people get Exoskeleton, it'll actually work. Your Energy Lance will actually work, even though they did change it to be reduced to 6 to 6 damage mitigation. So it'll still work either way now. Maybe it'll just be a little bit more impactful. Telekinetic Link, healing from 12, 18, 24, 30 for 4 seconds to 16, 24, 30 to 40 for 4 seconds. So that's a 30% buff. 30% buff. I actually really like that. She didn't do much. Her healing just didn't do much. Health per level from 59.3 to 61.8. Mana per level 24 to 27. Okay, mana regen per level from 0.08 to 0.09. And bug fix, like Psychic Flare will now show appropriate visual effects with Tireless Reaper equipped. Good. Yeah. So that I don't know if she had less mana. She didn't really have that terrible mana issues, maybe. But her health, okay, that do make her a little bit more sustainable. Yeah. Maybe this is what she needs. Maybe this is what she needs. Is this enough for phase? I think the Telekinetic Link is the more important part. The Energy Lance, I'm not sure why giving her a buff in the damage department would help her viability, especially as support. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think of that. Not too sure. Here's Revenant. Reckoning, gold bounty from 600, 800, 1,000 to 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. That is going to make him viable. That is going to make it more viable anyways. That extra 400 CP, that's going to go a long way. Now it's a full-on attribute point when you get the kill, instead of only 600 and 800. So, you know what? Whereas before you need level 3. So basically for most of the matches before, you weren't getting even an attribute point when you managed to get somebody in Reckoning. Now, right off the bat, you get a full-on attribute point. That actually means something. That actually means something. Really, really like that. General balance, attack speed per level from 2.5 to 4, increases the reload speed. That is huge. That's more than you would think, as attack speed actually seems to work in his reload speed more so now than before. Because there's more attack speed here in version 42, but now 43. I like that. I like that. So maybe that makes him more viable. I really want to try him. That is a strong, strong buff to his ultimate. If you can get it once, twice, 3 times, hey, that is a good lead that you can actually get with Revenant. And Faye! Oh, finally! The Faye Bramble Patch can now be used while moving, and the width is increased because of the increased movement speed and stuff like that. Finally, it's no. I mean, Bramble. That was the biggest thing, is that she had to stop, slow somebody down who was still moving, even if they were slowed, and then you had to catch up. So it almost hurts you. It almost really did hurt you. Now you can be used while moving. So she just simply, while moving, puts it down, can keep going, and the width is increased. So that little wee tiny little bit that they have to move more through it, they'll still be getting slowed. And the flight trap radius increase from 530 to 575. I think with the map opening up a bit, since like it was fixed a long time ago, when Monolith was reworked a little bit, and who knows, maybe the map is a little bit more open now in version 43 as well. Maybe that is something that they saw and are undertaking preemptive steps into solving. So hey, I think I agree with that. She's a team fight oriented hero for sure, and that's definitely going to help her for sure. Now, Rocket Dash cooldown 4 seconds to 5 seconds. He can use it a lot. We're talking about Twinblast here. I agree with that 100%. You see him too much. He's too viable. He could use that all the time. Definitely really like that. Down. And Rapid Fire. Hero damage from 30, 35, 40, 45% to 25, 30, 35, 40%. I like that. Brings him down, brings him more in line, and minion damage from 45 to 40. Hey, I mean, really, whatever. That just small little tweaks bring him down in viability. And you know what? I completely agree. Wraith! I love Wraith! I don't know, he really fits me for some reason, even if I kind of don't necessarily play him too well. I really like him. And let's see what happened here. Knock Knock. Cost from, so the mana cost, from 90, 100, 110, 120 to 70 to 100. So that is 20%. A 20% reduction in the cost of Knock Knock. Combine that with Tireless Reaper, something I absolutely put on Wraith for sure. That goes a long way. A huge way. So say even if you had, well, if you didn't have Tireless Reaper before, and you do have it now with his changes, let's just see. 120 would have been what it was. And now with Tireless Reaper, if you're at, basically, you go from 120 at level 4, which you upgraded it a lot. At least I did. And now you're down to 80 with Tireless Reaper. Or in the early game, sure, 90 to what? 90 to 60, 66? 90 to 66. Almost cutting that mana cost by 30% with Tireless Reaper. Pretty darn good. So that's going to definitely help him. I think I did notice that, to be honest. I think I did notice that his Knock Knock, it didn't do enough damage, so you had to use it more often, but you couldn't because of the mana cost. There you go. General balance, basic damage per level from 2.2 to 3.1. Ho, okay. So again, there's that weird basic attack focus on Wraith that we noticed before version 42, and it's continuing. He has a very strong basic attack for a pseudo caster, so he's like a ranged sniper fighter. It's just really odd. Health per level from 61 to 66. Base mana has been increased, and base regen. So he's an odd, ranged, sustained basic attacker sniper. But at least by his stats, that's what his stats are telling me. So let me know down in the comments. Wraith is an interesting hero, which, like, he's a damagey utility support sniper ranged fighter thing. Yin. She has gotten a buff. Lash kick range from 750 to 850. I've always found her lash kick to be too dang short. When she was released, I think it was 950, something like that. Or it went to it was 1,000 or something. That was way too much. Then they nerfed it to like 500, I think. And then they buffed it to 750, and now finally it's getting back up there to 850. So maybe with version 42, the increased, you know, just time to kill, at least in the late game. And then in the early game, just a sustained fight, she needed that mobility to just kind of do her thing. I think I agree with that. General balance movement speed from 690 to 705. My gut is telling me that tampering with movement speed is such a slippery slope. So, I mean, as a pseudo melee carry, Yin, maybe that is a good thing. And basic armor from 1.8 to 2. That probably is what she needed. She's, again, pseudo melee ranged. So maybe that is what she needs. Is that enough? Is that enough to see her viability? Maybe. Lash kick, if we can really kind of do her thing. The play-making, crazy, lash around, reflect everything. Maybe that is enough. Zinx. She is crazy strong. Let's see what they did to her. Dirty healing mana regen from 3, 4, 5% to 3.5% at all levels. This is huge. So guys, because it's percentage based, going from 3 to 5% is astronomical. It's astronomical. Because it's a percentage of her maximum mana, that small percent translates to a ton of mana. And going from 3 to 5 was a huge step. And now that it's 3.5, oh boy. I mean, I think, to be honest with you, her mana came back too fast. And I think I like this. I think I like it. How that's going to play, the math was interesting with her dirty healing, and it didn't really translate to how it felt in game. So I think I'll have to play her to kind of feel how that turns out. But the mana cost per health from 1.8.6 to 1.110.9, that is a huge change. So in the early game, you spend more mana to mitigate the same amount of health. Now, okay, that's absolutely huge. Zinx, this is absolutely huge. What this is going to tell me is she's going to spend more mana, way more mana, way more mana, because remember, this is there's a ton of diminishing returns in here. She's going to spend way more mana to mitigate the same amount of health, and when you get her down to low amounts of mana, she's going to have to wait much longer to get that mana back. And then from that sustained mana regen, because she has to spend more mana, she will have much less sustained damage mitigation once you actually get her down to low mana. The health per level from 46.8 to 43.1, base health regen from 0.96 to 9.4, and health regen per level from 0.1 to 0.07. Yeah, because health regen is really valuable. She gets a ton of mana regen from her kit. So as long as you can just get some health regen, her health goes up and her mana goes up. She can mitigate damage at the expense of mana. Her health goes down a little bit, but then she regens her mana, and if you have health regen, she just gets her health back. So it's kind of like, what the heck do you do, right? There you go. I think that's really strong, especially with the cursed cards and stuff, and just really strong health regen and mana regen cards. I think maybe this is going to be good for her. There you guys go. There is the heroes and the overview for version 43. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Is there any thing here that you're like, ooh, that's not very... Or is there some stuff that you're like, yes? Steel, I'm actually excited about that. I don't know if he can be an offlaner. I mean, there's lots of offlaners with no mobility. Kwang. Richter, who, yes, is a viable offlaner. So maybe he's just different now in the offlane. Is he more support with this reliable micro stun? You know, is, you know, Sevarog definitely much more viable in the jungle now? I would say. Narbash, is he brought down in line? Kwang, is he going to be completely dumb overpowered now? Grim, is he viable at all? Gideon, is this just going to make him a no-brain pick and there's no sense to pick anybody else? I don't know. Like, let me know down in the comments. The movement speed, I think that's a long, slippery slope to the same issues we had before. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I'm super excited for version v43. Amazon is the tried and true way of shopping for anything you need or want at the lowest prices. Support the channel at no cost to you by doing your Amazon shopping through the link in the video description. So, ladies and gentlemen, please like this video if you like it, dislike it. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. And, of course, guys, subscribe. If you guys like this content, especially if you found it useful, please subscribe so I can do it for you in the future. Please check down in the video description for all my links to my website. My decks are in there. Merchandise stores is down there. You got a cool t-shirt like this. And maybe you can meet me at TwitchCon. We can share some the yellow squad. I don't know. Head to the Amazon affiliate link. We can do your Amazon shopping. Thank you guys very much for watching. Until next time, like always, stay optimistic and positive.